Hi there, just looking at some ways in which we can create backgrounds. Going to bring up a new image, 2 by 2 inches. Keep them square if you can, because we're going to do some tiling. Go to our tubes, preloaded transparent background graphics. Have a look and see what we've got. Going to choose Teddy. You can do you can use anything for this, provided it has a transparency in the background. Don't think poor old Ted is quite central, so go to the pick tool and we'll just nudge him over a bit. I'm going to put a border around that graphic, so go to Image, Add Border, and we'll clone some of the colours. Let's go for that pink. We'll say OK, and now we have a pink border. Right, going to right click on the top bar and we're going to copy, going to edit, and we're going to make another one, a new image. So I've got my original and now I've got another one. I'm going to effects, I'm going to look down, I'm going to have a look and see what we can do here. Seamless tile. This will create a background, so we're going to choose OK. And now that one will be quite interesting when we pour it into a larger sheet. Now I'm going to bring up an A4 sheet of paper in landscape. Imagine that's 11 by 8 inches, slightly bigger. Going to materials, and I'm going to go into my patterns, and I will find the 2 Teddy graphics that I have worked on. That's the first one I worked on. OK, going to straighten the angle. You can see a little dial in there, straighten that round, or you can put 0, and that's straight. I'm going to pick the fill and pour tool, and I'm going to pour that into the background. By anybody's standard, as a sheet of paper, that is pretty boring. If we printed that out now, that would be very boring. So let's just delete it. Go back to our materials, and what we're going to do now is twist it round a bit. It's not going to work, is it? I'm very low on resources using this program, I must admit. Let's go around 25, and it'll twist automatically. See if I can get hold of it there. No, it's not going to allow me to do it. It is resources. I'm going to make it slightly smaller as well, and I'm going to pour that onto our paper. As I say, imagine this is a piece of A4 paper or card. How would that look with the original graphic on top? So if you imagine that was a background to a card, let's put the original graphic there, just to give it a little bit of dimension. Well, obviously a bit on the tiny side. So let's drag him over to the right hand half of our card. I'm imagining this to be a card when it's complete. I will make him slightly bigger. Here we go, and drag it down. And you can imagine if you printed off quite a few Teds that size and layered decoupage, mirrorage, you would have quite a nice card. The prospectus are there. You could make that background, I think, a little bit smaller. Let's look at the alternatives to the background. We'll keep Ted on the foreground because it gives us perspective. Go back to our materials. This time I'm going to select the other graphic that we made, which was the tiles, which is this one here. And we know the size that we're working with. Let's just make that slightly smaller. I'm going to see if I can bring that little lever round to 0. There we are. So it's upright now. So we'll click OK. We're going to take out the background that exists now and pour in the new one. Which is the tiles. Tiles is a way of making a graphic for the background that interlocks, and from the internet you can download various plugins that allow those to interlock in different ways. I would say that that probably looks a little bit muddled, a little bit busy and a bit too small, so let's delete that one again. Right, so we're going to click on materials again, and this time I'm going to use them. I'm going to make them slightly bigger. That might be more interesting, and pour that one into the background. There we have Teddy. You wouldn't, if you were making this as a card, the right hand half you would just have blank. It would be a waste. But it's a way of creating beautiful backgrounds that enhance the actual graphic that you have chosen. Right, I have done a little bit of computer magic now. What I have actually done is taken that existing previous graphic and put the background onto A5, which is half of A4, and then I have copied and pasted it back onto the A4. So if this was now a card, it would be folded as a mountain fold to make it the outer part of the card, and if you wanted to you could make it a valley fold, and that would make it the inner part of the card. Always mindful of saving on ink and to get a balance of the graphic. With the background here, what I have now done is to lower what you would call the resolution, so it's slightly faded in effect. And if we bring it up, you can see it's dark. Take it back down and we've got a sort of lighter shade, and I think that brings out the main graphic. It also saves on ink. In that last shot we saw the background put on an A5 and then layered onto the A4, and that was the tiled effect graphic. Now we're going back to the original graphic. What I'm going to do now is take out the background that we did. So I'm going to backspace, and it takes it back to the first original graphic. Then I'm going to go into materials. I'm going to go to gradients, and there's a super rainbow one here that is part of the preset. There we are, rainbow preset tiles that you get, and I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to pour that one into the background. And then you can see another effect. Now I'm mindful of the time because I've only got 10 minutes in which to do these, so this is going to be very quick now. I'm going to bring up my sheet of paper. I'm going into materials, I'm going to pattern, and I'm now going to look for the new graphic with the rainbow background. I'm going to put it on a slight tilt, I'm going to lower it slightly, I'm going to say OK, and I'm going to pour that one into the background of the A4 original sheet of paper with the one graphic. It's just another variety of the same theme. Again, you can lower that background intensity. Sorry about this, the resources on my machine are low, even the antivirus is off in all the background programs. And that's how you can make backgrounds. You can make them within the graphic or outside of the graphic using the very graphic, because you can see them in your materials on the patterns. Do enjoy, it's good fun. Bye for now.